Welcome back to another Meta Monday. Phantasmal Flames dropped a brand new aggressive deck that has been tearing up the meta recently, and that's Mega Lopunny. Today we're going to find out whether Lopunny is truly a top tier meta threat, or if it's only performing well because it's a brand new deck. Now, I tested Simon Miley's 28th place list, and here's what that deck was running. But first, let's start with the core cards. Mega Lopunny, which is your main attacker. We mostly use its first attack, which hits for 60 damage, but if Lopunny moved into the active this turn, it does 170 damage more, letting us swing for 230 damage for just a single energy. Now, we are also running the Dusknoir line. We use Dusknoir constantly in this deck. Its ability places 13 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon, but it knocks itself out in the process. Yes, you do give up a prize, but the trade is worth it because it lets Lopunny one-shot massive HP Pokemon or remove key pieces before your opponent can even set up their board. Now, Pidgeot EX is incredible in this deck as well. Its ability lets you grab any card you want once per turn, which makes it easy to chain Lopunny swings, find your movement options, or even grab the Dusknoir pieces that you need to set up huge knockout. We also have Hilda in this deck as a core card as well. This is by far the best supporter in the deck. It searches an evolution Pokemon and an energy card at the same time, giving you everything you need for a Lopunny swing in a single card. It also fetches out Pidgeot or Dusknoir if you need to set up your board or keep pressure on. Those are the core cards, but what about the techs? We have a couple that I want to talk about. The first one is Budew. Its attack item locks your opponent, which can completely freeze their early game. This helps stall for a turn or two while you set up. We also have Klefki as a tech card, and its ability states that while it's in the active, it shuts off all basic Pokemon abilities. That disruption buys you time and lets Lopunny take early uncontested knockouts as well. Mega Kangaskhan is the final tech card that I want to talk about. We mainly use it for its draw engine, but you can potentially attack with it by looping your jets to move it in and out of the active to reset your Lopunny's attack. Now, if you want to try the deck list for yourself, the deck list is in the description below. Now, let's get into game number one. Alright, so game number one is up against Gardevoir. Our opponent started off pretty strong, but we are going first, which is what we usually want to do. Now, here with this Nest Ball, I am going to grab this Fan Rotom. I was looking to see what else is left in my deck to figure out what my prizes are as far as Pokemon go. Now, the Fan Rotom is a key card of your early start because it is able to grab double Buneary plus either a Pidgey or the Ditto, and here we do just that. Now, we do have an Ultra Ball in hand as well, and we do have the Switch, so we will be using the Switch first on the Ditto, so that way then we can actually grab something else. We're just going to grab the Kangaskhan because that's all that we really need right now, just to draw some extra cards, and then we're going to pass the turn. That way then we just keep the Ultra Balls in hand so we know what we need to grab next turn, and we already have a Mega Lopunny in hand as well, and we have a Hilda to be able to get us our energy. Now, during our opponent's turn, they are just going to play down an Artisan, get down another Ralts, and then attach to the Clefairy for turn, and that is perfectly fine by us. Now, I am going to put down this Dusclops, and then use the Artisan to get down another Duskull before using our Kangaskhan to draw two cards, then use the Hilda to be able to search our deck for a Jet Energy, plus another piece of the Dusknoir line, which is just going to be this Dusclops. Now, in here, we have everything set up, so we're just going for our combo real quick, throwing down the Mega Lopunny plus the Jet Energy on it so we can swing for 230, taking two prizes right away on our second turn, putting us in the lead by 2. Now, we do get a Klefki off of that, and this is one of the matchups where Klefki can be really good, being able to stop that Monkey Dory. Now, in here, our opponent is going to put down another Monkey Dory and move their Ralts up to the active before using the Artisan to be able to get down a Frillish. So now we know that they are pretty much on the Guardy Jelly variant of the deck, so we are going to be having to play around a Jellicent and make sure that we have ways of answering things. Here we are just going to throw down the Dusknoir plus the Dusclops, and we are just going to use this Lillie's Determination because the rest of our hand wasn't very good. Now here we will be using this Dusknoir, popping and clearing one of the Ralts. And then from our prizes, we are going to be getting another Mega Lopunny, which is huge because now we can have two of those down on the field. And then here we will be putting down another Duskull as well. Now I am going to pop this Dusclops just so that way then we can get rid of the Rolts and the active, since we will only be swinging for 60 with our Lopunny this turn. And then we are going to put down the Pidgey before we swing as well, just so that way then, since we have the Rare Candy plus the Ultra Ball, we can actually get into a Pidgeot next turn. Here they are just going to put the Frillish into the active, attach a Psychic Energy before using a Ultra Ball to actually look through their deck and choose a Pokemon. Now they do still have Artisan as well that they can use to find another Ralts if they shuffle their Ralts back. So here they do get down the Fez and then evolve into a Jellicent before using a Artisan to get a Ralts already, so they are running 3 copies of the Ralts. And then they are going to use the Fez after using that Lily's Determination to be able to go up to 10 cards in hand right now. Here they do find the Counter Catcher, and they're just going to bring up the Mega Kangaskhan just so they can try to buy a couple turns while they finish setting up. During our turn, we are going to draw into a Ursaluna and then use the Kangaskhan to draw 2. We don't find any way of moving the Kang, so we are just going to have to pass the turn. Usually you always want to have a Latias down, but if I remember correctly, we had prized the Latias and it was still in the prizes at this time, so that is the reason why this lock is kind of working on us right now. Our opponent did start off with an Arven. They are then going to use a Earthen Vessel just to try to get another Psychic into the discard, and then use a Ultra Ball, getting 2 more just so they can grab a Guardy, and they have the Rare Candy Guardy play right there. Now they have everything set up. They do have a Dark Energy to go on a Monkey Dory as well, before putting down a Bravery Charm so that Dusknoir doesn't immediately pop a Monkey Dory. Now in here they are going to put down the Screamtail, and they will be going into that Screamtail so they can start taking knockouts. That is fine by me, by the way, because our board is set up pretty well and we do have a Ultra Ball in hand, and with them not having the Jellicent into the active, we are not under item lock. So now we actually can find ways to be able to get around this and be able to start attacking again. Now, the choice that they have is, do they get rid of the Pidgey or do they get rid of the Duskull? First, they are just going to use this Monkey Dory, being able to move the damage from that Jellicent onto the Pidgey. So now that pretty much tells me that they're going to be knocking out the Duskull instead of the Pidgey. Here, they are just going to put some more damage onto their Jellicent so they can actually move that next turn, and in case we do take a key knockout on their Gardevoir in some way. Here we top deck into another Rare Candy, and then we are going to use the Kangaskhan to draw 2 cards. We will be using this Artisan just to look through our decks, see exactly what we have left. The key cards that I'm looking for here is making sure that we had the Pidgeot EX in the deck, making sure that we still had energy left in the deck, and making sure that we had our boss left in the deck as well. Now here I am thinking about just using the Ultra Ball first, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what cards to discard. I decide let's get rid of both Buddy-Buddy Poffin at this point because the game is pretty close to just being over. And we will be using this Ultra Ball to grab this Pidgeot. I do debate for a second if I just want to grab the Fez instead, because the Fez could draw us 3 cards, which could get us closer to finding that boss. So that way then we can actually take the key knockout that we need to for game. So I do end up deciding to just grab the Fez. We draw 3. We do find a Jet, so that's one of the combo pieces that we would need. Now all we need to do is just find the final piece, which is that boss's orders. Here we are just going to throw down that Jamming Tower before using the Jet Energy on our other Lopunny, and then we will be using this Iono, putting them down to 3, putting us down to 2. We do get a Hilda off of that, and a Lily's Determination before taking a knockout, going down to just a single prize remaining, and we actually get a boss's orders from that as well. Now, while it may seem like we have the game wrapped in the bag with only 1 prize remaining, there is a line that our opponent could still do to win the game. So what they could do is they could just use a Iono, putting us down to just a single card, and unless we find either a Hilda, Energy, or boss's orders, then the chances of us winning are very, very low. And here our opponent is just doing some searching, going through their deck. They're going to use their Arven, so that means that we don't have to worry about the Iono this turn, which means that we will be able to keep this boss's orders in hand, guaranteeing that we can take a big knockout on their Fezandipiti for game. Here they are going to put down the Stadium as well, Right now, they have a total of 4 cards in hand and have 4 Psychic Pokemon, so they would only be drawing 1 if they were to discard an energy. So what they're going to do is they are going to use Monkey Dory, moving some damage over, knocking out the Pidgey, going down to 2 prizes. Most likely, they were looking for a counter catcher to win the game, because then they could actually counter catcher up the Fez, retreat the Jellicent, put 3 energy onto their Gardevoir, and then use their other Monkey Dory to move 30 damage to the Fez and take the knockout for 2 prizes for game. But sadly, they did not find it, so they are just going to be moving the 20 damage off of the Jellicent and putting it on the Rotom before swinging for 80 damage and having it be our turn. Now in here, we are just going to use our Fez to draw 3, see what we draw into. It doesn't really matter, so we are just going to retreat into the Lopunny before using that boss, bringing up the Fez, and taking the knockout for game. Alright, so for the second game, it is against Charizard, but this isn't your regular Pidgey Charizard. This is actually the Terra variant of the Charizard that's been picking up a lot of popularity lately on the ladder. Now, we do start first again, and with this Buddy-Buddy Poffin, I'm looking through my deck, seeing exactly what we're going to grab. We are going to grab double Duskull and then grab down the Fan Rotom as well, because we already have a Latias in the active. This allows us to grab double Buneary plus a Pidgeotto. We already have a Pidgey down, and we are just going to be going straight into the Fan Rotom after placing down a Buneary, so we have our board set up for next turn. Now here, during our opponent's turn, they already have double Charmander down. They are going to attach an air balloon before using Lillie's Determination to draw 8 cards. And here they are going to be placing down that Wellspring plus a Pidgey, and then using a Nest Ball to get down a Fan Rotom plus a Hoot Hoot. And then they will be going into the Fan Rotom before using its ability to search out Noctowl plus double Hoot Hoot for a later time. Now in here, they are just going to attach a Fire Energy to their Charmander in the back, and then pass the turn. Now we top deck into a Dusknoir, which is really good here before using our Hilda, and then I'm debating about grabbing the Lopunny or grabbing the Pidgeot, because we could set up our Pidgeot right now and be able to get everything else going as well. Now I do just grab the Pidgeot, and I am going to Rare Candy into that first before attaching the Enriching Energy. Now I attached to the Buneary, but looking back, I should have actually attached to the Fan Rotom instead. We do end up drawing into the Jamming Tower, and then I am going to use this Dusknoir to be able to pop their Hoot Hoot. Now in here, we both take a prize, and from our prize, we get a Ultra Ball, which is really nice, but we are going to have to get down another Dusknoir so we can get rid of that Pidgey as well. Here, I am going to use our Pidgeot, look through our deck. I'm debating about just grabbing the Night Stretcher here. I could have just grabbed a Dusknoir as well, and that would save our Night Stretcher in case we need it for a later turn. Now, and we do just decide to grab this Night Stretcher, though. We are going to get back the Dusknoir using another Rare Candy in our hand. This is going to let us pop that Pidgey, and now we make a very big mistake. So by us putting that energy on the Lopunny, if we want to take a third knockout this turn, we are going to have to go into the Lopunny this turn and be able to swing with it. Now that is a mistake, because that actually is giving our opponent a chance of being back into the game. We are going to use that Buddy-Buddy Poffin to set up 2 more Duskulls. We are going to go for the play of taking a knockout on this Rotom, and you will see why I'm saying that that's a mistake. What we should have done is, if we would have attached that Enriching to the Fan Rotom, because we knew that we had the Pidgeot, we still would have been able to take a knockout, because we just would have played down the Jamming Tower and searched for that instead, and we would have been able to only have a single prizer in the active, not giving them a way of putting any damage on the Lopunny without them being forced into using a boss's orders. But by us having the Lopunny in the active right now, all they have to do is just go Rare Candy Charizard like they're doing, and they will be able to do a ton of damage to our Lopunny. And there is the potential that if they are running Maximum Belt as their ace spec, they could almost knock out our Lopunny. But with it being the Terra version, we know that they're most likely running the Sparkling Crystal. They're still going to be able to do 270 damage, setting up to be able to take a big knockout using their Wellspring on both the Lopunny plus one of our other basic Pokemon, and that would actually win them the game. Now in here, they are going to get down a Fez as well, so that way then they can actually draw some extra cards just to try to insulate their plays. We know that they still have 2 Hoot Hoots left in their hand because they searched it with Fan Rotom, and they are going to get both of those down before playing down the Charmeleon from their hand as well. Now in here, they are just going to attack for 270, setting up that big play that I was talking about before going over to our turn. Now we do have a boss's orders, so we can get rid of the Wellspring, and we do still have the Jamming Tower as well, so that basically forces them into a position where they're going to have to find a Stadium, plus find their Wellspring, and have to get their Crystal, plus a Crispin or Charizard. That way then they can get everything set up to actually do that play. Now in here with this Pidgeot, I am going to get a Jet Energy, and that is going to be able to allow me to reset our Lopunny, so that way then it can still attack this turn. Sadly, we don't play any Turo. I think that a 1 copy of Turo would be really good in this deck for situations like this, but sadly, during this game, I'm not playing it. Here, we are just going to play down that Jet Energy, put the Fan Rotom up, play down our Jamming Tower. Hopefully that can stick, and then we are just going to be retreating this Fan Rotom into the Mega Lopunny using this boss's orders. I debated about going after Fez, but I need to go after the Wellspring because all they would have to do is just search out a Charizard, and they could easily power up their Wellspring that way as well. So we need to get rid of the Wellspring and force them to have to find a way of getting it back. Here we do exactly that, taking those 2 prizes, going down to just a single prize card remaining. Now they are going to throw that Charizard back up into the active, and luckily Jamming Tower is stopping its air balloon as well, but they already have 2 energy on it, so it doesn't really matter. Here they are going to use their Fez to draw 3 cards first, and because Charizard is a Terra type, their Noctowls are going to be online. So we know that they're going to be able to search for 4 trainer cards this turn. Now in here, they are going to start off with a Noctowl, and this is going to be able to grab them specifically Terra Orb plus a copy of their Stadium. That way then they can do the Stadium bump, and the Terra Orb will be able to find them another copy of Wellspring, or even find them the Charizard as well. Now in here, they are going to use the Super Rod, being able to put back their Wellspring and put back some energy. And then they will be playing down a Wellspring from their hand. They will be able to attach the Sparkling Crystal from their hand as well that they already had. And then they will be using their Terra Orb, being able to get their Charizard so they can actually go into that, power up their Wellspring with the 2 energy that it needs, to be able to actually swing with its second attack, Torrential Pump, and be able to take a knockout on our Mega Lopunny, plus take a knockout on one of our other weak Pokemon, which they choose the Fan Rotom, and that is going to give them 4 prizes, winning them the game. Alright, so here are my final thoughts on Mega Lopunny. I think this is absolutely a top meta deck. It's fast, aggressive, and very consistent, and I believe it will keep a strong spot in the format for a very long time. It does have weaknesses though, and the biggest being Psyduck, since it shuts off our Dusknoir line, which slows your deck way down. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.